Hello, guys and girls. Welcome all of you to Global Coding Cohort. This is Lekshman here. Hope all of you are doing well. And now we are going to solve a bracket problem. And this is its problem statement. The problem is to print if the given string of brackets are valid or not based, based on the samples given below. You have to understand uh, the conditions which the brackets are going to be valid, then is it going to be valid. So we have to understand that pattern using this given sample. So here we can see uh, a rounded bracket, open rounded bracket, a closed rounded bracket. So it's written as valid. So what we can observe here is open, close. And in the next one, we have an open rounded bracket and a closed square bracket. So in this case, it is written invalid. So now what we understand is if there is an open rounded bracket, we should get closed with the closed rounded bracket. Right? Okay. Uh, open rounded, closed round, open curly, closed curly. When it is open, it is closed, right? Corresponding same bracket, closed bracket of its same type. And then this one also same. And here, open bracket, another open bracket, then closed bracket, bracket. Here, this open bracket is closed by this closed bracket, and this one is closed by this round bracket. So it is valid. One here, one round open, square open, then round close, and this is invalid because this round close should got closed with square one, and because it should it should be in order, whereas this is not in order. So at this point, what we understand is it is not enough if if a closed bracket of same type is present, not enough. It should be plus present in a proper order also. So the observation uh, that we can okay. So this is invalid. Even if there is no close, then that will be invalid. So let's write our observation. Any open bracket will be closed by closed bracket of its same right? Also in proper order. To declare valid, this is observation that we have. It's understanding that we got from these input samples. I hope the public setting is clear to all of you. Start this, well, this one and try to understand how I am breaking down the problem, how I'm treating, how I'm getting uh, to the solution. All this you can observe closely. So make sure you watch properly the full video so that you get an understanding of how I get to the solution. Correct. Especially the thinking way, you should understand the way how I think. Obviously, I will not be talking what I'm thinking, but you can see that in my code. So try to understand the code. Uh, I will explain the code once after finish it up. In HTML, send to string directly like this. Then Let's working. The logic is not, it is a take. I just wrote the logic only for checking one scenario. You'll get different scenario. As we have not installed an NumPy previously, we got this error. Now I have installed. Okay. You should not change this order, okay? Because we have assigned as round quotient, bs square, bs square 2. We should not all change this order. So the solution is working fine for these test cases. If you have any, please let me know in the comments so that I can include that and test it. So now I will explain you the logic that I have used in the solution. First of all, you would have seen when I would have imported this numpy. Uh, would have seen me if you are watching me continuously, you would know at what time I would have written uh, these functions, or I would have where quoted this. Right. Now I'll be explaining this logic sequentially, irrespective of the way how I thought. I will explain with the logic sequentially. Now. If you want to know how I got to the solution, if you want to know how my thought process was, then you have to watch the video continuously. You can rewatch it after this live is over if you have not watched, so you will get an understanding of how I got to this solution. Find length is to find the length of the input string. Initially, uh, we are initializing a variable called length as 0, and with an infinite loop, we are starting to count. So whenever this is possible, at every loop, length will be incremented by 1 if this is able to process. That means length start with 0, isn't it? So first it will try input of 0. It is possible. If there is no error, then it will increment. Else, at the point where there is no element of this uh, index, then it will throw an error. The error will be handled by this try catch exception. Uh, the infinite loop will be stopped there. Finally, the length will be returned to us. Next, find index. This is to find the index of the element which we want to search. For example, if we want to know where a closed bracket is present, then we can pass that closed bracket here. Then our original input here, original or the process input, because we are having two, one as original, another we are copying that original to a temp variable. So we have to give the input from which we have to get the location of index location of the bracket symbol. But here we have to reduce the number of times this find method is used, find length method is used. To reduce the number of times find length method is used, we are directly at the end of each loop we are finding it and directly passing that length to this find index function. So that at this when it comes to this when the inside this body of the function, we need not call that find length method. So to reduce that operation and this process, we are directly getting the length which we have calculated for that already end of each loop. You can do in either way, but I have done this way. Got it. So here I'm just using the length of this. Without length also I can without length without knowing the length also I can uh, okay, if so I will do that. Without knowing the length also I can proceed and start with 0, like how we found length. Right? The process here. Now we can comment this. So here, if I is found, the loop I have to increment I is it. Okay. So at each iteration, we will try to check, and whenever if this some element is present at this purpose location, else it will throw an error, and because of the error, loop will break. And this loop will break in another scenario also. Whenever a match is found, this condition, at that time also it will break. So here we should not implement implement the else part. Okay. When a match is found, we just need to return that exact value. We should not increment it further. That's why I removed I here. Place first I wrote an I plus equal to 1. I removed it because of that reason. Whenever match is not found, it will keep searching by incrementing I. When match is found, it will just break the loop and will return the current I value. Okay. Then find minimum method. This is to find minimum of that index. We will find the index of this bracket, this close bracket, and curly close bracket. If that is present, we will try to find the index location of all the close brackets, and after that, after finding index location of those brackets, then we have to find. Uh, okay, I will tell you that story in some a few minutes. First of all, let me explain this. So minimum initially minimum we are assigning a value none. Then if the value in A is less than B, then we are assigning. That means if A is less than B, then we will assign minimum equal to this one, and we have linked this A with uh, round close bracket. Okay, we have linked square close bracket with B. We have linked curly close bracket with C. So whenever A is less than B, uh, we will assign minimum equal to a tuple with containing the minimum value and the its corresponding length bracket. Okay, so if not, then it means B is less than A, is it? Else part. So we are assigning B to the minimum. And in the next, we have three variables, isn't it? That's why we are writing one more if condition to check if C is less than the existing minimum. If it is, then we will again update the minimum variable with the C. Else, no operation will happen. Minimum will retain the value that it got from its previous conditions. And finally, the minimum value and its linked close bracket will be returned to the user. I hope you understood this method. You can access this code from my GitHub repository, and you can debug this. Sorry, not debug. You can write print statements in between these code. You can understand how that part is working. Okay. You can write wherever you feel like you want to see what's happening there. You can just write print over there, and you can try to print either the variable or whatever. So that's up to you. You can print and learn effectively. Got And then This is just for the sample. We did it. Okay. This is our main solution. Here is where we are using all these three functions. Okay, which we have written over here. Okay, we are not taking the input length of the isn't, but we passed it here. That's it. So we'll clear it. We need not give length. I think we do not need even this particular line. Is it the center corner? Three. Let's check if it's not fine now. This is valid, valid, invalid, correctly got it. So here what I did means I just optimized the code without the need of length itself. Got it. Do we still need this find length? Let me see if we are using that. Okay. Else we will remove that as well. The first type of logic I used string length. That's why I wrote this find length itself. But now let me see if we are using length anywhere. No, we are not using length anywhere. So let's comment that line. So we do not need this function. Without this also, now we optimize our code to work. So we do not need find length. So let me reset so that at least reset the comment. It's working perfectly. Find length is commented. Okay, the function is not just check. Only two methods are there. It, it, valid, it is valid, it, invalid. Okay, fine. So this is working without the need of length itself. So that means our time complexity of algorithm has got improved when we reduced this need of. We still have some loops, but it is optimized than our previous logic. Okay, so, so this is how optimization happens. First of all, we will write something. When we review it, we will find ways to optimize it further. I'm not sitting here to continuously optimize it. I'm okay as the thought came in my mind as suddenly I did it. Now I'm going to explain this. If you find any new ways of doing this task, then you can try in your own way, and you can send working. If your solution is working perfectly, then you can send that to me in my email. I will show it. Show it. I will show it. I will show your solution along with your name in the upcoming live session if that is working perfectly. Correct. This is not the only way we can solve this problem. There are a number of ways you can. Okay. For the time being, I have written this type of logic. Okay, let's start with the solution. Initially, we know that only we will get these types of these three types of symbols in our input string, isn't it? So therefore, I have created a dictionary. Whenever I need to know what is the corresponding offering of this. I'm going to give where, okay, at this place, I'm passing a closing bracket of any type. I want to know its corresponding open bracket. So that's why I have created this bracket. Okay, some of you might think, why shouldn't we move from forward? There are, that's why I said there are a number of ways. But what logic I have used is, we can see that uh, a valid string, in a valid string, uh, from there will be a clause. There will be a clause at some point, especially in the middle. Okay? Especially in the middle, if it is like this, or else, even if it's valid, there will be there some there will some clause in the string, isn't it? So that's why I have taken that particular point to start solving the problem. So in this case, uh, this project will first try to, that means, uh, let me explain that once again. At some point, there will be a clause. Okay. If there is a clause without the open, then that is going to be considered as invalid. We have handled that in the logic. I'll show the point. But right now, you understand, at some point, there will be a clause. Got it? Based on that, we are going to start our solution. So multi-scenario sharpen, initially you would have seen, I have named it differently, but I'm using, as I'm using the same variable to stop at different scenario. I have used this particular name called multi-scenario stop flag. So whenever I make this flag as true, then this loop is going to stop. That's why, but initially I am taking it false. Okay. Then to start solving, I'm taking a copy of the input string, a variable called temp, and further I'm going to use this temp variable and I continue solving. Correct. Without this temp also I can work as this is a method, but simply I have taken this. Okay. Initially, as we were working without this function, I did this part, and now as we have written this logic as a function, this scenario is not needed, but still I'm not going to edit it. If you want, you can edit it. You can replace all the terms with input string, and you can comment out this line and see if this is working. This will obviously work. Okay. Then we are going to use a for loop. In our string, we are having different symbolizations. We have to look at each one of it to identify if the string is valid or not. We have various conditions. Uh, that means there should be a clause. If there is an open, then there should be a clause for a string to be valid. If for a string to be hear that properly, for a string to be valid, any open bracket should be closed by a close bracket of its same type. And not just that, it should be closed in proper order as well. That means like this. Which is the opening close. Nothing in between. Opening close. Nothing in between. When there is something in between, then this close is for this open. This close is for this open. There should be this order also. Only then it will be valid. So that is what is written in this observation. Okay. So then based on that, we are going to use that logic over here. So to implement that as a code, initially I'm writing close. I'm initializing a variable called close. Close end means I told you right. Uh, I'm trying to find the first present close. Got it? In this, okay. In this example, I'm trying to find this close. at first, okay, at first. Then in this example, I'm trying to get this index, this first close index. In every example, in the first iteration, I'm trying to get the index of the first close. But we don't know that close, whether that close is a round type or square type or curly type. So that's why we are taking the index of all different types of closes that are present. If that is present, we are taking. Else we are leaving it with a infinite number. Why we initialize this with infinite number means here at this point I want this first close, isn't it? That means its index is 1, whereas the second index is 2. So in this scenario, round close and square close are present. So in this place, both of this line also will get executed. This will okay, sorry, not this round line also will get executed, and curly line will also get executed. Okay, this will not execute. Okay, because there is no square in this input. So at this point, we will get two indexes. And what do I need? The close that is present first. So that's why I'm finding using those index. I'm finding which is the minimum. So as I am finding minimum, I have initialized these three variables with infinite. Infinite means it's a greater number. Okay, it's a greater number. As I am finding minimum, I have initialized this with greater number. So even if that is not present, in this case, in this particular case, we do not have square bracket, isn't it? So this line do not get executed, but the value that is present in the square close index will be infinite. So that when I find minimum, it will not trouble me. Okay. Anyhow, I'm going to find the minimum now, not going to use the infinite. Got it? So I'm going to store that. So these curly index, square index, or round index is going to store the index of those particular index close of those particular type bracket. But close index is going to store the latest means the nearest from the in ascending order. Okay, in ascending order, the first close is going to be from this. Using this function, we will get to know which is the minimum, and that is returning the minimum index and its corresponding linked uh, bracket. Okay, so we are receiving that in this close index and bracket. After that, if whenever that means whenever this close index is greater than 0, that means there can be a scenario because see in this scenario the close is present at first. That means its index will be returned as 0 and the bracket will be closed. If I try to, so here what am I doing? What am I doing? I'm trying to when there is a close, then there should be a open before it, isn't? That is the logic I'm trying to go with, isn't? So at this point, in this case, I do not have an open before that. This itself is present in zeroth index. Therefore, I will be uh, checking if there is to avoid that error. I have written this condition. Okay, so that's why in the else part I have stopped this loop by using this multi-scenario stop smart variable. In different scenario, I'm trying to stop. That's why I have given this name itself. So if there is not, if the graph, so in our current example, that means in this example, uh, our index of the close is 1, and I am checking if there is a, that means close index is 1, then close minus index means previous index, and what is present in 10, our input string. Uh, then temp of that previous index means previous bracket. I'm checking if the previous bracket is equal to brackets of bracket. Brackets of bracket means, or what is the current, what is present here? The close round bracket is present in this bracket. At this time, it will pass the close bracket into this dictionary, and you will get this open corresponding open bracket. So if they are equal, that means if a pair is matched, if there is something like this, that means the close and the open before, then I'm going to delete that from the, that means it is fine, it's correct. So I'm going to delete it. Okay. If there is no match, that means if there is no corresponding open bracket for a closed bracket, then I'm again going to stop this loop by using this else part. If not, I'm just going to, as they are correct, I'm just going to delete them. And at this point, I'm going to delete, uh, for this scenario, first I will be deleting this both rounded brackets. So after that, what will be present in the 10? Only this much, because we deleted this correct one. And in the next loop, this loop will run either this is going to be false. Until these both conditions are true, the loop is going to run. That means until multiply is false, and when until temp is going to be nothing, this loop is going to run. So at this point, as this round bracket got a matching open bracket, we deleted that. And in the next loop, there comes, in this example, there comes, sorry, there comes a square bracket, isn't it? So next loop, I will try to find the nearest close. Now only this much is present, is it? So the nearest close is this this particular square close, so which is presented, which is going to be present in index one. So the same scenario will be executed. In the previous, it is getting its matching open bracket. So that are also that, and this pair will also get deleted. And after that, the temp will be empty. At this point, while loop will stop, and this particular if condition will get executed. That means if temp is equal to nothing, that means all got its equivalent open pair. So that's why the loop got to this question itself. Otherwise, it should have got stopped by these else parts. And then some we are giving this. Then there is another scenario where we may still have some remaining in the temp. But before that itself, we would have identified that this is not that this is invalid. So that's why we are checking this condition as well. If both are true, if both of it, if this if these both conditions are true, then we will return it's valid. Else, we will return invalid. That means in this scenario, we will have this one in the temp. In some other scenario, uh, sometimes, okay, that's fine. I don't want to make it complex by explaining it repeatedly. I hope you would have understood. If you still have any doubt, you can just comment QA so that I will understand. Or else you can just message to me in WhatsApp, and then the next day after the live session, we will start a Telegram meeting so that you can directly talk to me to clear all your doubts. So that's it for now. Uh, You can access this code from my repository. Just take it, try to solve it in a different way also. So we'll see you tomorrow with another problem statement. I hope this session made you to think somewhat. I hope you like this session. If so, please make sure to hit like, subscribe this channel, spread a few words about this community to your friends and colleagues. Uh, that's it for today. Thank you. Bye bye.